What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. We're back doing another preview video for the Six Nations 2024 Round 1 Wales versus Scotland. One of the best fixtures for me in terms of the Six Nations. A fixture I've been to the most out of all the Six Nations games. It's a game I love going to. The Wales and the Scotland fans really get on really well. We have a fun rivalry on the day, but in fact I've sat there in a red jersey surrounded by blue and had awesome days both in Murrayfield and in the Principality as well. So we're gonna have a run through of the team announcements that have come out, give a bit of a reaction, who we think, some good picks, some bad picks, some thoughts on how we think this game might go, and then finally, of course, giving a score prediction for this game. Let me know what you think of the teams down in the comment section, along with your own score predictions for this one. And let's get ourselves kicked off with taking a look at the Wales team. Now, the Wales team coming into this one, although they've got a great track record in the Principality, there's a lot of hopes. I've seen online, a lot of people think this is a Wales team that can demolish the Six Nations. I don't know why. My expectations are pretty low because it's a brand new team. They're on the rebuild. There's a lot of youngsters in here, a lot of low caps, new debutants coming in. My expectations are low for the Six Nations as a whole, but I'm looking forward to see what performances they can put in, and, looking ahead is what I think you need to be sort of wrapping your head around for this Wales team. But saying that, they do have a great record when it comes to playing Scotland in the Principality, in the Six Nations. So who knows? All very exciting stuff, because there is a couple of different points to it to go over across both these teams. So I had a quick look at them before starting this video. But we'll start out in the front row for Wales then. Corey Domachowski goes in alongside of Ryan Elias and Leon Brown. Now, this, for me, is not the strongest front row we have in Wales. Domachowski, I've seen both in international and in club level. There's a lot of penalties given away, just on the field and at scrum time. There's a lot of penalties that can be conceded, so I'm hoping he's going to hold up in this one. Scotland will want to look at the power game for this one. I can really see them wanting to maybe try and punish the forwards in this game. Ryan Elias is throwing. I've said it quite often, but then a lot of the other Welsh hookers throwing was off across the World Cup and last year as well. So Ryan Elias coming back, and we'll see how he gets on. And then Leon Brown in that tight head, who I feel we haven't really seen a lot from in the Wales jersey. So the front row maybe a little bit shaky for me, but maybe the best on offer from players still available to them. Maybe I would have started Elliot D in that hooker position. In the lock department, David Jenkins going in alongside of Adam Beard. David Jenkins, of course, the captain going into this, youngster, 21, younger than me. Captaining a Wales team in the Principality. Looking forward to see how he gets on. No Will Rowlands in the side today. Did have a quick look up about this. Apparently him and his wife had a baby. There were a few complications around the baby getting born and stuff, so he's been told to stay in France with his wife. So he's staying over there, not involved with the team. Not sure if he'll be involved with the Six Nations either yet. We'll wait and see about that. But David Jenkins and Adam Beard, still a good partnership to work together in that lock department. In the back row, James Botham, Tommy Raphael and Aaron Wainwright. Now, the back row is actually an area that Wales do have a little bit of depth in, considering how many players are being missed out. Jack Morgan, Faletau, Moriarty's not picked for the team. Back row still pretty good there. James Botham, Tommy Raphael, Aaron Wainwright. Aaron Wainwright still got some good pace on, even if I think his running style, it makes me chuckle every time I see him. He's got a very interesting running style, but he does have some good pace on him. Tommy Raphael and James Botham, of course, both involved with big turnover, jackal penalties can be earned there. I still think that's a relatively solid back row for considering the injury list Wales do have. In the halfback partnership, Gareth Davis goes in alongside of Sam Costello. This is what I was expecting. I was expecting this to be the partnership going into this one. Probably the most experienced still left available, of course, with no Dan Bigger now. Gareth Davis, I think, has been performing pretty well. Maybe I would still be looking at Thomas Williams to start, but, I think that could be, a personal call. Sam Costello still, for me, hasn't landed the international jersey yet. I still haven't been, completely assured in that capability. Sheedy coming back to Cardiff Blues pretty soon. We might be seeing Sheedy move into that Wales jersey at some point, maybe after the Six Nations stuff. We'll have to see how Sam Costello gets on, though. I do feel like sometimes the pressure can get to him a little bit in these big sort of events. In the centre partnership, Nick Tompkins going in alongside of Owen Watkin. Now, George North, of course, picked up a big stinger injury. Wasn't in training last week. I believe he's back in training now, but not completely fit, ready for this game. So no George North for this one. Nick Tompkins and Owen Watkin playing together. I still actually think is quite a good partnership in the centre. I rate Owen Watkin pretty highly. Now, interestingly, I've seen Nick Tompkins at club level also play 13. I've seen Owen Watkin play 12. So interesting that they've got them this way around. This is how the Wales team likes to use them, with Nick Tompkins on the inside centre and Owen Watkin outside. But there is the opportunity actually mid-game for these lads to just switch roles, because they both have quite a lot of experience playing in either or position. So that actually gives them a little bit of versatility. If it's not working out for you, you feel like you're getting punished in that centre department, swap over, let Owen Watkin become a bit more of a distributor and let Nick Tompkins run, because he has got some good sidestepping on him. He can break a line. So that could be a switch we'll see in that game. I think that's a nice little bit of bonus for Wales there. And then in the back three, Rio Dyer, Josh Adams and Cam Winnett coming in after he's actually picked a bit of a knock as well. Apparently he's been in big eyeline of all the medical staff to make sure he is fit for this game. He is fit for the game. He's going to be starting out in that fullback jersey. I'm looking forward to seeing him, to be fair. Again, young lad, plays over the Blues. Looking forward to see how we'll get on. But Josh Adams, Rio Dyer, I think is the right call. Mason Grady is on the bench for this one. He's been playing at club level on the wing, even though Gallen seems to use him as a centre. I did think maybe he would slide in on the wing, but Rio Dyer and Josh Adams for me, opening game, opportunities to get tries. And I think this is the right way round to have them as well, because, going up against the Scotland wing is a tough task anyway. Rio Dyer's defence for me is still not quite where I'd want it to be at an international stage from the last few games I've seen him. Putting him against Duan van der Merwe, that's a big ask. That's a big man to stop when he's at full tilt. So I think this is the right way round as well. Put Josh Adams on that right wing where, there's no longer Zammit there. I think Josh Adams is a much better defender, so have him on that wing to shut down the big man. And then you have Rio Dyer on the left wing. I think that's a good setup for me. In the replacements then, Elliot D, Matthias and Azarati coming on in that replacement front row. Again, I'm going to see how this gets on. I don't know a great deal about Matthias coming on in that second half. Elliot D, I think, is a strong hooker. Azarati, for me, again, still hasn't quite landed that international jersey at the minute. So maybe a little bit of a shaky front row. I think the forward pack might be one Scotland wanted target. Scrums, mauls, try and punish that front row. That for me isn't quite going to be set to a top tier international standard. We'll see how they get on though. And then in the rest of the replacement forwards, Teddy Williams and Alex Mann coming in to make his debut. Thomas Williams, Johan Lloyd and Mason Grady are your replacement backs. So I actually think replacement backs wise, I think it's quite good. Thomas Williams has been doing well at club level as well. He's had his new contract come now. He's going to be moving away from the I keep saying Cardiff Blues. The Cardiff now. They're just Cardiff Rugby. I keep calling them Blues. That's stuck in my head forever. Johan Lloyd coming in. I'm looking forward to seeing him get onto the pitch and have a bit more time with this, Wales squad. Maybe would have liked to have seen him start, to be honest. I know they want to have a steadier ship, someone with a little bit more experience like Sam Costello. I'm looking forward to see Johan Lloyd, though. Hopefully have a good chunk of time. Maybe come on at 50 minutes or something. Give him half hour with this game and let him settle down into this Six Nations. And then Mason Grady, who I think still decent coverage. Like I said, he can play wing at club. He plays centre at Wales, so he can come on in either position. So you've got some good coverage there. I imagine out of everyone on that pitch, if there's not an injury, I imagine they're going to want to take Nick Tompkins off for him. Because I think out of your remaining centres, that's the key players that Gatlin likes. I imagine we could see Mason Grady coming on. Either play a crash ball 12 or go into 13 where we've seen him play an Owen Watkin, or switch to 12 and try and keep Nick Tompkins safe, because they've still got some really big games coming up. They won't want to lose both Nick Tompkins and George North for next weekend and what have you. In terms of the team then, overall, I think it's a fine team. I think out of the injury lists and the players retire and everything, we knew it was going to be a tough task. I actually think it's a pretty solid team from Wales. Am I expecting them to put 40 points on Scotland? No. But actually, I think it's pretty good. It'll be interesting to see how this bench is going to get on in that second half. Maybe it'll begin to dwindle. I think that starting 15 they might be able to hold out for a little bit. Talking about the opposition then, Scotland coming over for this one. An interesting team. Couple of people not getting in, a couple of people missed out, a couple of injuries going on. I've made my own graphic for this one because the Scotland graphic wasn't very good. So I've made my own. Not going to say mine's much better, but there we are. We'll go with it. Starting out in the front row then, Pierre Schoeman, George Turner, Xander Fagerson. That's a front row to me that I think is going to win scrums in this game. I think that's going to be an area to punish. George Turner in at hooker, always a dangerous player. I did wonder whether we were going to see Johnny Matthews with all the hype I've been seeing about him scoring tries off the back of driving mauls and stuff, and where they would implement that into this game against a Wales forward pack. They're maybe not quite there, but I think that's a stronger front row for me than the Wales squad. In the lock department, Richie Gray and Scott Cummings coming in. Grant Gilchrist banned out for the first couple of games after his club level. I think it was a double yellow card, or was it a red card? I can't remember now off the top of my head, but he will be missing out the start of the Six Nations. But Richie Gray still a great player to be bringing into that lock department. In the back row, Luke Crosby goes in alongside of Jamie Ritchie and Matt Fagerson. Now this surprised me a bit. I haven't heard anything about Darge. I think Darge is fine. He's just not there. Which, if someone does know something, drop it down in the comment section. I had a look. I couldn't find anything to say he was ruled out. So, Matt Fagerson in 8. I really thought Jack Dempsey was going to get in there and just be aggressive as hell and just, start trying to smash his way over. Matt Fagerson had a great Six Nations last year, and there was a couple of people, I think he gets overshadowed a little bit when you look at number 8s in the Six Nations, Gregory Aldridge, Caelan Doris. They have great performances every week. I think Matt Fagerson flies under a few people's radars. I think he's a really solid 8 for Scotland. That actually puts a lot of graft in. So I still think this is a good move. Maybe bringing on Jack Dempsey in that second half when gaps begin to open up. This might actually be a better way around than what I was anticipating for this Scotland side. In the halfback partnership, Ben White, Finn Russell. Yeah, bang on. This is what I was hoping to see. I think that's an exciting halfback partnership in this Scotland team. I think they may cause a little bit of devastation. Ben White, we've seen him before. He'll just always try and go for that little sniping run. You have to keep your eyes on him. Don't take it off. He'll go for a try himself. Finn Russell, always looking for a weird pass, just some ridiculous kick. I think that's a great halfback partnership, and I actually think against this Wales team, who may be a little bit disjointed, but you actually might be able to get to see some really good rugby from both those lads in this one. In the centre partnership, Sione Tuipulotu goes in alongside Hugh Jones. Hughie Pilotu back again together, and with a bit of a shake-up in the Wales centre partnership. Again, I think this is the stronger centre partnership for me. I think they'll be looking to target that, especially. I mean, to be fair though, Nick Tompkins and Owen Watkin are quite defensively minded. I've seen Nick Tompkins fall off a few tackles that you feel like you need to stick it. So I can see Tuipulotu running directly at Nick Tompkins, get that little offload, and you let Hugh Jones go through. But Owen Watkin actually has quite a solid defensive read on him. We might be able to shut down a couple more of those little pop pass tries that Hugh Jones got last year. So they might want to try and work around that. I actually think it might be a better target for someone like Tuipulotu to actually attack Owen Watkin and make sure he's involved with the contact and look for Hugh Jones to get around the outside of Nick Tompkins. I think that might be a better way for their centre partnership to link up. In the back three, Duhan van der Merwe on the left wing, Kyle Stain and Kyle Rowe coming in the fullback shirt. Now, Blair Kinghorn's out. Knee injury. Massive blow for this Scotland team. I'm not going to, say too much about Kyle Rowe, but Blair Kinghorn, I think, is a vital asset to the Scotland team. I've not heard anything about him ruled out of the Six Nations, but a knee injury can take a little bit of a while to come back on. I think that's a big blow, especially, with the ability to switch if you wanted to move into the 10 shirt later. Maybe it will have given you a bit more versatility in how you want to organise the team. Kyle Rowe's got a big game now, and if I was Wales, knowing that Blair Kinghorn's not in that backfield, knowing that Duhan van der Merwe, I still don't necessarily rate him too highly in terms of catching the ball in the air compared to some of the other wingers on the field. I would be looking for many more kicks in this game now. I'd be looking for high kicks, go into that wing. Josh Adams versus Duhan van der Merwe in the air. I'd be leaning towards Josh Adams. You haven't got Blair Kinghorn in that backfield now either. I think there could be some punishing kicks. Might be an area for Wales to exploit. In terms of the replacement forwards then, we have Ewan Ashburn, Alec Hepburn and Elliot Miller-Mills. Two lads coming on for their debut in this one. Looking forward to see both of them come on. Sam Skinner and Jack Dempsey will be filling out the rest of those replacement forwards. Like I said a bit earlier, I think Jack Dempsey actually might be a bit of a nuisance when he comes on in that second half. He's such an aggressive player. Will he come on for Luke Crosby and move Matt Fagerson to 6, or will he come on directly for Matt Fagerson? We'll have to wait and see about that one. But I think he could be someone that you might see get a late game try coming on in this game. And then the replacement backs, George Horn, Ben Healy and Cam Redpath. And Cam Redpath's on 9 caps. I read that earlier on and I couldn't believe it. I feel like he's been in the Scotland squad for about 4 years now. He's on 9 caps. The lad is just suffering with injuries and not quite getting into that starting squad with how good the centre partnership has been. But looking forward to see him come on at some point in this game. I'm glad George Horn is in, actually, because Ali Price has, for a lot of people, been falling off a little bit recently. I think this is a great game for Ben White and George Horn to compete in that 9 shirt. Who do you want more as your starting lad? Leave someone like Ali Price. Maybe got a more experienced head on his shoulder, but leave him for some of the other games. They got France next week. Big competition. So expectations from this game. I'm expecting Scotland to be really looking to take advantage of this one and try and break the cycle that has been of Wales having the win over Scotland in the Six Nations in the previous years. I think the forward pack for Scotland is looking more dominant. I can see scrums going the way of Scotland. I can see driving mauls going the way of Scotland. The line-out area, there's a couple of people maybe missing from that. I still think I'd be leaning towards Scotland for the line-out as well. So the set-piece area could be a real sort of nightmare for Wales in this game. Wales might want to play this one a little bit more open, a little bit more expansive, Maybe a few more of those kicking games. I don't think you want to get wrapped up going from set piece to set piece, because I think that's where Scotland would really be able to exploit. But you know the players that Scotland have in the backs as well, right? We saw Duan van der Merwe versus England last year, running in from 60 metres, beating about 6 defenders. So they also love an open game. It's a really tough ask for Wales. So going into this one in terms of the score prediction, I'm leaning towards Scotland. And I'm actually going to lean towards Scotland a little bit heavily in this one. I actually think I'm going to go out there a little bit. I'm going to say Scotland by 10 is going to be my score prediction for this one. I know a lot of people have maybe some expectations of, never rule out Wales as the underdogs and the great history they have in the Principality. I really think this Scotland team is going to be putting in a big performance this one, just to try and lay down. I wouldn't think it's disrespectful for Scotland to genuinely be looking at this game and saying we can come away with a bonus point try in this game, and that would really set them up to have a really good Six Nations. So maybe we might not even be seeing a lot of threes taken in this game, but a couple of maybe key players missing, people like Blair Kinghorn in that backfield. How much will that impact them from being able to just sort of, hold down that game from a great defensive standpoint and then mount the attacks later on? We'll wait and see, though, guys. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of the teams and your own score predictions. Remember, if you haven't already, make sure you get your Super Brew teams all done and your fantasy teams locked in before the weekend. Of course, we have the Ireland-France game tomorrow. There's already a video up on the channel about that one. I hope to see you all next time, guys. Bye-bye.